Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Before we jump in, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. I want to know what y'all think about what we got going on over here. Appreciate y'all continued support of the channel. Man, I'm excited. We had a banger of a fight on Friday night. BKFC 75 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. David Redneck Mundell defended his strap against Donald Sanchez. Looked like he didn't even have a fight, quite honestly. I mean, that's just my observation. He looked real clean after that fight. Somebody in the crowd that wants to fight him. I talked to this man about a month before, I think maybe it was a week or two before they announced this fight with Donald Sanchez. I got Marcus Bad Intentions Edwards in the building.
So,
What's going on? I know we talked before the fight announcement of Donald Sanchez with David Mundell. Never had a chance to chat with you about your thoughts on that decision after you had knocked out Dakota Cochran just like a week or two before that. When you heard that, what were your thoughts?
um, you know, uh, when I heard that they were gonna fight, I mean, I figured that they were gonna give him a shot. I kind of heard it through the grapevine, so I kind of already knew. You know, going into the fight with Dakota, they were talking the winner's gonna fight. Mundell and um whoever wins this fight, I feel like they thought that Dakota was gonna win. So I think that was what they were trying to set up, and I derailed that. Um, but yeah, I kind of figured that they were gonna give Sanchez the shot, and I was hoping that I would be next. To whoever had the belt. I know Sanchez would have gladly have fought me, and unfortunately he didn't win. So now we got Mundell, the running phenom. You know, over here running away from me after he's won the belt. So I don't know. I just want to fight. I want to fight Mundell. Let's just talk about fighting Mundell. No.
I mean, I dropped the short video talking about the fight and talking about I think the next logical option is you unless Mike Perry decides to say yes, which
Yeah.
I don't honestly expect him to say yes to it just based on what I've seen. I mean, it's been over a year since he's fought. He wants to fight guys I know with a million subscribers or followers or whatever,
Yeah.
and I think he'd rather have guys come over from other organizations. So the logical opponent to me was you. I
Mhm.
post it. I get an immediate response from Mundell, and he makes some comments about some disrespect or what have you. You replied. You have a whole team of people that are replying now. What? Where does this disrespect thing come from? Or do you even know?
Man, I'm not aware of any sort of disrespect, man. We've had few words. The words that we have exchanged, I felt were all respectful on both ends. The only thing I can think of is him thinking it's disrespectful for me to show up to the fight and challenge him. If you're a champion, then champions don't think that. I don't know what he's on. Um, yeah, so I disrespected him. After he said that, I called him a pussy. If that's how you're gonna act, then that's how I'm gonna treat you. You know what I mean? There was no disrespect. I don't know what he's talking about. But if he wants me to be disrespectful, then I will. I'm not that type of guy. I mean, if you look back into my history, I mean, I'm a man of few words. I get in there and I get the job done. But it seems to be that Mondale is just a boring champion. I mean, he has no words for himself. You ask him a question, he says he needs to ask his coach. You ask him a different question, he needs to ask, Dave, the owner of BK. He had an interview and he had another guy that had to talk for him. I mean, this guy, he has no words for himself. He has no thoughts for himself. So I don't know. His coaches are over here talking mess to me, and being disrespectful. If anybody's being disrespectful, it's his coaches. I'm over here to hype the fight up. I'm over here to, put hands on him. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to be his friend. I don't know him you know, from nowhere. So yeah, I'm here to fight. I'm here to put hands on him. And if I gotta talk to make it happen, then shit, so be it. At the end of the day, everything I say is straight facts. So yeah, it is what it is.
What did his coaches say to you? at the fight or elsewhere, or
Oh, I
where
mean,
did that come
his
from?
coaches, his coaches are pretty much trying to hide him. They don't. His coaches don't have belief, is what I felt, and people around me, they don't believe that he can beat me. They're literally trying to hide him. They're comments saying you know that I need more fights. I mean, I have 30 plus fights. My MMA record's better than his. You know what I mean? I'm undefeated in BK. I mean, I fought some of the toughest fighters and I beat some of the toughest fighters. My very first pro fight was a fight against Justin Gaethje when he was 7-0 undefeated, and I took him to the decision, barely beat me. I fought tough dudes. I don't know what they're talking about. The only thing they could do is try to run, because they know this is not a good fight for him in the position that he's at. They're trying to reign. They want to keep this, this winning, while he just lost the knocking all his dudes out. He lost that streak. If he fights me next, then he's gonna have another loss on his belt, so he's gonna lose that streak. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have the belt. So they know this. They feel this. They understand this. I come with a different energy. I come with a whole different everything. He's never fought a guy like me, and I believe the style that I have and the style he has, I beat him 10 out of 10 times. Only way he beats me is if I show up like Sanchez did, no disrespect towards Sanchez, and I don't fight. You know what I mean? And I want to address that. I know you gave him praise. He looked phenomenal. He came untouched. If we look at it and we're just being real with ourselves, Sanchez had a bad night. He did not show up. I mean, if we let's count his strikes, how many times did he throw he didn't throw one combination the whole fight. He threw one. He threw a jab. He threw a cross. He did some reaction strikes. I mean, maybe a total of 10 strikes around. If you're a champion, you have a punching bag in front of you. You better look that way. You better look like a champion. Because if you don't, then why are you there? You know what I mean? Unfortunately, Sanchez had a bad night. That happens. You know what I mean? So, I expected him to look better than what he did. And if that was me going against Sanchez and Sanchez looked like that, he would have ended up just like Dakota Cochran. So that's just what it is.
Were you surprised at how Sanchez looked? Because I was shocked at the way Sanchez looked. I thought I was honestly stunned. I thought the fight
Mm,
would be more competitive.
yeah.
I just didn't see him aggressive. It's funny because I talked to him about 2 weeks before the fight, and I saw exactly from his first fight in this fight backing
hmm
up. Whereas every other fight, he's coming forward, forward,
hmm
forward. And this fight, for some reason, he's backing up. Do you have
Yeah.
any idea why that happened? I don't know if you've ever spoken to him or
You
anything like
know,
that, but
no,
what were your thoughts as a fighter watching that?
yeah, just sitting there live watching and just, being in situations and putting guys through situations and just looking at it from Mundell's view. Mundell caught him early. He caught him, he put him down, and he thought about not getting back up.
Hmm.
And that plays a factor. After he got hit with the hook, he was afraid of the hook. It happens. You get caught, you're like, hey, I don't want to get hit by that again. Start changing things up. But instead of making the right moves to make transitions happen, he started going towards Vondell's power. He started running to his left side. He kept going to his left hand, which put him in even more danger, which made him feel even more uncomfortable. So he was already, not wanting to get hit by the hook, and then he was unknowingly, I believe, putting himself in danger by running into power the rest of the fight. Then he got
Yeah.
caught by power on that side, which made him even more uncomfortable. So I think he was more fighting himself mentally than he was fighting Mundell. I think he was just trying to get his wits back about him. And in the
Mhm.
meantime, between time, you have a killer in front of you. You know what I mean? And you got to try to get yourself back. You got to try to make good decisions in those moments. And you have a guy in front of you that has knockout power, that's powerful, that comes forward. So you gotta make these adjustments on the fly and try to work through it. But I think that's what happened is he just had a rough time coming back after that first strike. And instead of just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna die on my shield, sometimes you get in the mindset where you can't throw. You're like, yo, just throw the jab, throw the fucking jab, throw the fucking jab, and you just don't throw it, and
Yeah.
it happens to everybody, and I think that's what happened because I believed going in here that I know that Mundell's chin is sus, and Sanchez hits hard. So I kind of I what I was thinking. I think it was going to be an upset.
Hmm.
I'm thinking he's gonna come in there looking beautiful, throw in combinations and catch Mondale. But he didn't throw one combination. He didn't take any angles. There wasn't a fight. He was literally backpedaling, and you know, and he was trying to figure it out, and he couldn't. So Mondale should have looked the way he did. I expect nothing less. I thought he should have finished him. That's
Hmm.
why I told him. I told him at the end of the fight, I was not impressed. I was not impressed. You're a champion. You have a guy running from you. He's not fighting you. He's not hurting you. He's not putting you in danger. And you can't finish him. You can't stop him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You're the champ. You're the guy that's knocking everybody out. And then what happened? I don't know. So, yeah, I wasn't impressed.
Did you try to have some words with Mundell? Well, before we get there, you mentioned his chin is suspect. Why do you believe that? Tell me where that comes from.
I mean, I don't know. Just a few months ago, so someone from his organization, his gym, his team, they just, I don't know what they got going on over there, but someone sent me a video of him getting knocked out at practice. I mean, stiffened up,
Hmm.
and that couldn't be the first time, but once you break that seal, it's broken. You know what I mean? It's like once you cross the line, it's easy to keep crossing that line. It's the same thing. Once you get hit and you have some head trauma, it's easier to, get knocked out again. So that was, going in. I seen every time Sanchez did land a strike, he only landed like three of them. And when
Hmm.
he did, Mondale was his feet. You know what I mean? So, I know he's a little sus. So, and that's another thing. I'm gonna touch him. I fight him, I'm touching him. He's not gonna go out and not be not like who have you ever seen me fight from my amateur career on up that does not get touched by me. So I'll touch him. I touch him frequently. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I was a little a little sus. I was a little you know skeptical about his performance, knowing that he's been knocked out and the manner he got knocked out. That's dangerous as an athlete to get knocked out and stiffened up and seized up like that. That's scary for
Hmm.
anybody. I wouldn't wish that for anyone, even the guy I'm knocking out. I pray before I go out and fight, and I hope that that doesn't happen because I can, people got family and whatnot. Like we're fighters, but at the same time, you don't want to, you want to win the fight, but you don't want to, long lasting damage to anybody. So, you know.
What happened to the code of a gym?
And that's another thing. What happened to the code of the gym? That's another thing. That's all I'm like, huh? It's a little sus, You got like a weird camp. You got guys, randomly reaching out to another guy, like, yeah, like look what happened to him. You know what I mean? Like, okay, bet.
So what do you see from his style that you obviously you feel you match up? Well, I think you're a great matchup for him. You're different from other fighters. Your explosion, your length, your arm length. I mean, you have a great reach, like we've talked about before. I mean,
Yeah,
your reach is like that of like a 6'2" or 6'3" or something like that. And
yeah,
you're what, 5'8", 5'9".
it's
So
four. Yeah,
6'4".
yeah.
Okay, 6'4". So what you know how do you feel about your matchup with him and how you match up against him that would expose these weaknesses that you see in him?
I first off want to say the guys that I fight that are like him, I have the best fights. They don't cower down. They're just like me. We're gonna stand toe to toe. We're gonna fight. We're both gonna come forward, and somebody's gonna go down. And fortunately enough for my career, the guys that fight me like that, they're always the ones that go down. It's the guys that run that I have a hard time with. I don't, I'm not a fan of chasing people. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of chasing people, and that's just the truth. Like I'll chase you, but just who I am as a person. If somebody doesn't want to fight me outside the ring or whatever. I'm not about to force someone to fight me. I'm not going to go chase them down. I'm not that guy. So it's just not in my nature to go chase somebody to force them to fight me. You know what I mean? And we're in the fight game. Stand here and fight. Be technical at least. So I believe he's that guy. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna fucking try to knock me out. He's gonna try to hit me with everything he has. That's where I find my openings. That's where I'm the best. I'm the quickest. I'm the fastest. I hit hard. I'm explosive. He's explosive, but he's flat footed and he's slow. You see when he's gonna explode. If you watch this fight and his movement to this, to the hook, to the over, he's the same exact person that he was in his first BK fight. Yeah, he may tighten things up and look a little crisp, and he got a little movement. It's all the same. You know what I mean? He's flat footed. When he explodes, it's slow, but it's powerful. And when he catches guys, they go down. And so I believe I beat him. I beat him everywhere. I beat him to the punch. I beat him on the movement. I beat him on the power. And I touch his chin, and I don't. He doesn't stay standing. That doesn't really happen much. So, um, yeah, that's how
Did
I
you
feel about the fight.
did you? I mean, you were sitting. I'm getting what, cage side or close to cage side. Did you
Yeah.
try to speak to him? Try to get his attention?
Nah, nah, nah,
What
nah.
happened? What
After
happened after the fight?
Yeah, after the fight, I wanted to get his attention. First off, I wanted to, at least have some respectful words exchange. It would be the first time I meet the guy. So, I did want to congratulate him, but I did also want to let him know, like, yo, I'm here. Let's make it happen. But he's been running. So he made a comment about, oh, these bums, they keep wanting me to fight bums. You know what I mean? But he's the one that's accepting fights against bums. And then a guy comes around like me, and he's over here, oh, you're gonna disrespect me, you're not gonna be able to fight me, and you gotta wait, and it's like, what? Like, you're over here crying for the last year about people not wanting to fight you. Now you got some dude that has what it takes to whoop your ass, and now you don't want it. I just don't get it. So yeah, and then his coach is over here like, oh, he fought this fight like your last fight, he just fought like you. I didn't know how to take that. I'm like, what? He don't fight like me, what are you talking about? And for him to make a comment like that, it just got me thinking, like, yeah, they must really be worried about me. Like they're trying to get him to fight like me now. Like, I'm confused. What's going on here? I'm like, what do you mean by that?
When was your last fight? It was April, correct, or
April
beginning of May?
18th. April
April 18th.
18th.
So we're now June 9th. W- How long are you gonna wait? How long are you willing to wait before
Man,
taking
I'm
another
I'm looking to
fight?
get I got some things going on in some in the personal life, nothing bad. I just gotta, clean some things up, and then I'm hoping to be back in there by October. That's been the goal since I fought Dakota. They got a couple cards. They got a card in October, I believe, that we're looking to be on with my teammate Chris Camozzi. I think it'd be awesome to have us on. Every time we're on the card together, it's always a phenomenal time. So I think that's what my coach was saying that we're looking forward to is an October card. So yeah, that's what I'm looking to be next. And if it's the redneck, then awesome. If it's not, whatever. I want to fight. At the end of the day, I want to fight, and I obviously want to fight the best. And like everyone's saying is like, I fought Dakota. Who's next? Like I got to fight another top five guy that is on all of them are on all off of losses. You know what I mean? And then you have um, Mike Perry, which is Mike Perry is doing the smart thing. You know what I mean? Mike Perry's like, yo, man, I've come out of the UFC. I came in here and put people on and made a lot of money for the organization, made a lot of money for myself. Like, why do I need a belt when I can make money? Right?
Mhm.
So he's over here making money. And I would call Mike Perry out, but that's not Mike Perry's not he doesn't want to fight Mundell. He wouldn't fight me. And I think with Mike Perry, it's strictly money. Has nothing to
Mhm.
Mike Perry will fight anybody. And so I think it's strictly money with him. He wants to go where the money is going to be at its highest, and that's the way it is. So for me, the next person, other than Mike Perry, is the redneck. So
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I keep hearing this guy Ward. Um, I heard someone like saying that Ward's about to fight again, and
Brennan
yeah,
Ward.
yeah,
He fights this weekend. He fights on
yeah.
Saturday.
And that's just another guy. I mean, I've heard like I've gotten like five different text messages like, "Yo, what do you think about Ward? What do you think about Ward? I heard they're throwing Ward's name around." And for
What
me, it's like,
to fight you or to fight
yeah,
Mundell?
no, to fight me. And
Okay.
then so my thing is like he just fought some trash dude. He barely caught him with like a grazing hook on the nose and smoked his nose and ended the fight.
Mhm.
He's a Bellator cat, right? He's fighting a
Yes.
dude, and he's I mean, I watched him in Bellator. One of my
Oh, he
teammates is good friends with him, and I mean, talks very highly about him. And I was so excited to watch him fight his first fight, just to
no,
be honest.
Yeah, he was a monster. I remember I remember
Yeah.
when he was over there. He was a monster.
Oh fuck yeah, he was. I mean, I liked watching him fight, so I was excited to watch him fight. And I don't know if my expectations of him were just so high. I wasn't impressed his first fight. You know what I mean? I think I just thought really highly of him, just his whole career in Bellator. And then I seen him come to the BK, and it's just a different sport. You know what I mean? It's a totally different sport. It's not, wrestling and grappling and all that shit. You know what I mean? So it's a different sport. I just wasn't excited. I wasn't impressed by his performance like I thought I was going to be. And then, they tell me about this guy, and I go look, and then they're feeding him a 0-0-0 debut. And it's like he's a
Mhm.
Bellator dude. You know what I mean? Like, so are we feeding guys like guys that have no experience? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I haven't looked into the guys that he's fighting, his other record or his background. I just know he's 0-0-0 in BK. And I
Mhm.
just feel, like for me, I came in, my first fight was against Jay Jackson, which is like seven
Yeah.
and two or three or
Mhm.
something at the time. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It's his record, somewhere around there, and then then I fought another guy that was like what, like 3-1 or something in BK, and then the dude that fought in Bellator. Um,
You froze up a
yeah.
second. You
Oh yeah,
froze
you're
up a
frozen.
second.
Oh yeah, you're
You fro
good. And then yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, what I'm trying to say is like, it's funny that they're saying, "Oh, this guy doesn't deserve it. That he doesn't deserve it. Yet. He needs more fights." But then I'm hearing, "Oh, well, after this, we want to match this guy with Ward, and then Ward and Adam Ward and Marcus gets to fight Dakota. I mean, Dakota gets to fight Redneck."
Mundell. Mhm.
I just don't get it. Like, how do a guy that comes in here fights some chump and then fights a 0-0-0 dude? Hopefully he wins. I hope he wins. And then they think he's just gonna fight me. You see what I'm
How do you
saying?
how,
Like,
how do you how do you feel about that? Because when we talked before, you told me that they said that you were up next, and now
that
he has the Sanchez fight, and now it's you go fight Brennan Ward potentially. That just seems a bit
I
off. I think.
honestly, when it comes to BK, I kind of just keep my mind open because you never know what's going to happen with them. One day it's, you can be fighting for the title and then they switch it up. So, it's all about the money fights and, it can go either way. So I put my faith in, in what is supposed to happen will happen. And, it's all on God's time, God's plan. And if I'm supposed to fight him, I will. I'll do what I have to. I believe the best fight is me and Mundell. I mean, I know for a fact we put on a fucking amazing show. I know we do.
Mhm.
The way both of us fight, there's no way fireworks don't happen. There's no way it's one of the best fights of the year. There's no way. You know what I mean? We're gonna collide. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be technical. It's gonna be powerful. It's gonna be explosive. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that fight is the only fight I think makes sense. I mean, you can have me fight other guys and I can go beat them, but for me, every time I fight, I break my hands or I break a finger.
Really? Okay.
I'm still, this finger's
Shit.
broken from
Oh,
Dakota. So, you know
it's
what I
still
mean?
it still hasn't healed. This God damn, that's like almost 2 months.
Yeah, yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, like,
Oh,
my thing is I'm not, I don't want to keep fighting random nobody,
mhm.
and, just to go and fight this dude months later. It's the same shit, I want to fight him and I want to fight him now. That's it.
Have you spoken to Dave Feldman or the matchmakers or anything like that
I
about
talked to
what
Dave
your
at
next?
the I talked to Dave about the fights and he's like, "Yo, I'm glad you're here. We were just talking about you." And I was like, "I hope it's all good things." He's like, "Yeah, it's great." He said it's great things. And I know that it's been thrown around that, I'll be fighting Mundell or whoever wins the fight with me in Dakota is going to fight Mundell. I have other guys in the organization that work in the organization that are saying the same thing, that the only thing that makes sense is for you to fight Mundell now.
Have they
And
told have they told you where you mentioned October? Do you know where in October they're looking at? Because I don't see that on the schedule yet. Do you know where that's going to be? Or
I don't know. I know my coach told me, but I forgot, to be honest.
well, I
Um,
I'd heard that there's look at December in Miami.
okay.
I've heard either Hard Rock or even maybe the Kaseya Center, which is
Yeah.
the large arena where the Miami Heat
Well,
play.
Well, I just heard that they're gonna be announcing something for Mundell tomorrow. So
tomorrow.
yeah, that's what I heard a few hours back. So
Whoa.
yeah, so they're gonna be announcing a big fight for him tomorrow. So if it's not um Mike Perry, I'm not sure who it's gonna be, but
Wow.
but yeah, if it's not Mike Perry, man, shit, I want to fight Mike Perry. You know what I mean? I want to fight guys that are above me, and that's what I've been saying from the very beginning. Hey, let
Who
me
else?
let
Who
me
else
make
is
my
there?
way up the ranks. Don't give me Dakota then. Give me a 5 guy. Give me a 4 guy.
Yeah.
Give me the 3 guy. Then give me the 2 guy. Don't jump me to the top guy that's on a 4 5 fight knockout spree, and then I smoke him in the first round, and then be like, oh well, now we want you to go back and fight the number 5 guy. Like I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works, I guess, because for me, it's like once you keep moving forward, you just keep, you don't go backwards.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, I'm just their rankings they still have here. It's weird you're not in the top five in their rankings. That's a little bit odd. I guess they haven't updated it. I mean,
They haven't
hell,
updated it.
yeah,
Dakota
because
Cochran is still
hell,
there.
hell, hell, Josh Dyer
Vince is
still
still there.
Josh Dyer still ranked third, and he's the champion in the same list. So
Yeah,
I guess he'll fight himself.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know,
That's
but
they need to update. They have a third party that does it, and I
yeah,
just I'm like, yo, if you have somebody that's a third party that's doing this, they need to keep it like
yeah,
on
because
like what are you paying them for?
because I'll do it.
Yeah, you
Because
know.
you beat Cochran, he just beat Sanchez. Zeb Vincent just lost on the card that you fought Cochran
Yeah,
on, and he beat Coltrane already. So who the heck left is there to fight?
who was there
Like
to
that's the
fight,
thing. I
man?
mean, look, I'm not a promoter. I'm just a fan who wants to see the best fights.
Yeah,
And I know sometimes business isn't the same way in how it's arranged and so forth. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned there's maybe some announcement tomorrow, which means I got to get this video up tonight.
yeah,
Because I'm curious to know if you haven't gotten a phone call yet. If it's not Mike Perry, I mean,
yeah. It's
you
not
know,
me. It's
you
not
know, you
me.
unless they're gonna call you tomorrow morning and give you a birthday present earlier in the day. I don't
Right,
know when your
right,
birthday
right.
was,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, who else would there be for you to fight? You know,
Man, I don't know. I would fight. If they're bringing in some UFC cat, some Bellator, some
Mhm.
dude from another big promotion. If they're bringing some dude in and they want to like make a big splash, I'll fight.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, I'm moving up the ranks. I'm fighting everybody they're asking me to fight. I've done everything they've asked me to do, and I'm knocking at the door now. So it's like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go knock up at the door and then ding dong ditch. You know what I mean? Like I'm a grown man now. I don't do that. I'm standing 10 toes down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I'll fight a YouTuber or I'll fight.
Find a YouTuber.
They want to bring in. They got these YouTubers coming in fighting BK.
What do you think of that shit, man? I mean, curious. I know there's a spectacle component to it, but what do you think of these guys that come in? They're these social media dudes that come in and
I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I mean, some of them like Bryce Hall. I respect Bryce Hall. I feel like he throws bangs.
how much does he weigh though?
I think he's like a 45er.
But he doesn't look like he weighs 145
No,
pounds.
he looks like he walks around at least like 170.
Yeah, and his one fight that I saw was against G Perez, who's 125 pounds.
25?
That's where he's fighting for the title against Andrew Strode next month. So I
What?
don't know. I don't know where they fought. I mean, but Perez is slim as hell. So I was just
Damn.
curious. I'm pretty sure that was the one fight that's the fight he had was against G the Cut Man.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, let
yeah.
me
He
see
had
real quick.
G the cut man.
I think that let me confirm that. I
Yeah,
don't want
look
to
at that because there's no way he fights. Maybe I don't know.
did Perez just jump up in weight and fight him at a much higher
That's
weight?
what I think.
Yeah,
It
here we
had,
go.
it
Yeah,
had to be
he fought him in Albuquerque in August of 23,
at
and yeah, he fought Bryce Hall,
at
and
what weight?
that's his only loss. That's it.
What's the weight?
Oh, Bryce Hall's weight here is listed at 169, and
Uh
G
huh.
Perez is listed at 127.
See, it had to be
It couldn't
45.
it couldn't have been at 127 or
It had to be like
169.
45 or 50 because
Mhm.
he's too big.
Yeah, he's
I
way too
told you he
big.
looks like we walks around like 170.
Yeah, and I
But
see because I mean there was the conversation of him and Kimbo Slice Jr. I know that there was a conversation
Oh
with
yeah, I
Cameron
did hear about
Delano.
that, and he pulled
Yeah,
out because he
he
had some
he pulled
job.
out. He pulled out.
Kimbo Slices Jr. Kimbo Slice Jr.
Yeah, he pulled out.
Yeah, I heard. I was watching a podcast. I believe, if I, correct me if I'm wrong. I
Yeah.
believe Bryce was saying that he had to pull. He pulled out because he had a job opportunity that he's been. I think he's going to
Okay.
be a police officer. So he's going
Okay.
into like the academy,
Okay.
something, if I remember
Okay. Okay.
correctly. Which that's respectable.
That's
I
fine.
mean, you got to make that money. You got to
What
look
you gotta
long
do?
term. But yeah, like I said, man, I respect, like, the one guy I do respect is Bryce Hall. I mean, a lot of people don't like him. You don't gotta like him,
I don't know
but
him,
that
so I mean,
motherfucker shows up and he
hey,
fights, and he'll stand 10 toes down and talk shit to you and stand behind it.
you want to hear something funny? I love
Yeah,
Jake Paul.
yeah,
I love Jake Paul.
yeah,
Jake Paul gets so much bullshit. I,
yeah,
that man is he can fight. Like
yeah.
we gotta stop acting like like. Do people really think that Tyron Woodley got knocked out cold on purpose? Like that when people
Nah,
say that shit, because every single one of these folks who jumped on Jake Paul, and Jake Paul is the one guy who I really look at. I'm like, yo, this guy takes this shit seriously all the time.
yeah.
He's really training, and you got Woodley coming in, and all the MMA guys. First it was Askren, remember? Prayers to Askren
Mm-hmm,
because I know he's in
mm-hmm.
the hospital, what have you. But Askren comes in, and every MMA guy thinks, oh, he's gonna beat Jake Paul's ass, and
I
he
didn't
gets
think so.
okay. Well, you're
I
one
didn't
because
think so.
you
The-
saw the videos, and
yeah, you
and then
know the
Woodley comes in. It's like, and then the same thing happens, and then they start saying, "Oh, he took a dive." Then he does it again and gets completely knocked out cold. You're like, I don't care who you are. There's not if I'm gonna get take a dive, I'm not gonna get hit like that to take a dive. That's
yeah.
not gonna.
The thing is like, this dude, he really trains. He
Yeah,
fights. He's a
yeah.
stand-up dude. That's all he knows. He's not out there trying to be an MMA fighter. He's not out there trying to be a kickboxer. He's out there being a boxer. So
Mm,
he's being smart. He's strategic. He's fighting all these wrestlers that don't have hands. You know what
mm,
I mean? And let's just be real. Mike Perry, he's a brawler. He's not a boxer. He's
mm-hmm.
a brawler. He's gonna stand there.
And we saw what happened there.
He's gonna take damage because he's a brawler.
Yeah,
He's not over here slipping and moving and doing
yeah,
all this. He's
yeah.
just,
Just throwing.
getting hit.
Yeah,
And that Jake Paul ain't a little kid. He ain't a little
he's
boy. He's
big.
a big ass grown ass man that hits like a grown man. So it can go either way. There are some politics that I believe are at play,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, he's a big dude. He does train like a pro. He fights
Yeah,
like a pro. And if he hits your ass, you go to bed. I mean, let's just be real. Like, anybody can get knocked out, if
yeah,
they get hit with the right strike, especially if
yeah.
the dude's a lot bigger than you. So,
And it kills me because just having watched him, I mean, he beat Anderson Silva after Anderson Silva beat up, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And now he's
mhm.
fighting Cesar Chavez Jr. next.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna whip him. Anyone that thought that he would lose to Mike Tyson, I thought they were out of their minds.
yeah.
He let Tyson stand up. He didn't embarrass him because
Yeah,
that was
and I just think that was just that was
I
just
hated
bad
that.
for Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
He's just an old man. It's like my dad fighting some young kid. You know what I mean? My dad. Mike Tyson. He's old. As even though he's still an athlete and he's still game and he still has that fighter, that's who you are. You don't ever lose
yeah,
that. My grandpa was like 80 years old, still trying to fight guys. You know what I mean? Like, you a fighter, you don't ever lose that. You're a fighter. And it's just,
yeah.
as you get older, your body's
Some
different.
some random dude in the street, sure, you could take him out. You're not gonna
Yeah.
take a 28-year-old who's 6'2",
And,
225,
and you got to
and
understand,
is you're
this
58
dude,
years
Jake
old.
Paul, has so much money. He's taking the right supplements. He has nutritionists. He has the best of the best money can buy. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm sure he has a routine and a regiment that is bar none. You know what I mean? So you got to understand, like, it's not like he's just going into a gym and just training and going to his 9 to 5 job, and then, you know what
yeah,
I mean? He's full time in it. You know what
yeah,
I
for
mean?
sure.
So
What are your? There was a big fight that was announced. I know we're gonna go off this a little bit. I mean, but I'll get back to it. Don't worry. What is your? You saw the fight that was announced on Saturday with at 165 with Gogo Slaveski and Julian Lane and Sturgis.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are your thoughts on that fight announcement? They had a back and forth on social media.
I saw.
Is 165 a weight you can make?
Ooh. Oh yeah, let's talk about it. My whole career is at 155.
I know MMA,
Um,
so that's why I asked.
yeah, I moved up to 175 because I felt that would be a great place for me. But man, once I conquer 75 and I get the belt, man, I've talked about it with Jake, and I want to move down and I wouldn't mind moving up too. I walk around like 225, 230. So
You walking at
and
230.
yeah, I walk around. When I started my fight camp for Dakota Cochran, I was 233. So
You were eating well, huh?
oh man, I eat great. You know what I mean? I get swollen. This is the smallest I've been since after my fight, but I've been just trying to stay ready, to be
Yeah,
honest.
of course.
I honestly was like, well, somebody falls out of the
I- I'll go back and
Sanchez, and
I'll go back and change.
yep, I'll be right there. I'll be able to make weight. I'll be 12 pounds off, no problem. So, I've been trying to stay in shape and stay small just to be ready just in case something happened with that. But yeah, 165, man, it's doable, and especially like how I am now, I'm be walking around a lot lighter. And if I was focused on being at 65, I would walk around a little bit lighter than what I am going to be walking around at, so I can have an easy wake up. But yeah, it's definitely, the reason why I moved up to 75 is because I couldn't run anymore. Like my cardio,
Yeah, that's right. Your
like
hips and
my
all that
my
stuff.
hip was messed up, so I literally didn't do anything with my legs. Like my legs is skinny, I couldn't do any workouts. I would bike, and that was pretty much it. And so to keep the weight down and to get that good weight fat burn going, is I love to run, and I wasn't able to do it for such a long period of time, but now that I have been, I mean, it just falls off now. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I go and get this belt, 65 when would be the next thing after I reign for a little bit.
What do you think of that fight, though?
Man, I don't know, man. I to be honest with you, I haven't really paid attention to the 65s. I've watched both dudes fight. I like both of them. I think it's gonna be a good fight, but yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't go either way on that. I can't go either way on that. I'll be in the middle. I'll be the guy that's in the crowd that just wants to watch a phenomenal fight
Are
and
you
see
gonna go
somebody
to the fight
defend.
since it's are you?
It's
It's not too far from you, right?
it's
I know
not
not
too
far.
far. I've already had a couple people that are like, "Yo, do you want to roll up there?" And yeah, so I'm thinking that that's going to be the move. Is
Okay.
go ahead and make the little move up there and watch the fights live. I really do want to start attending a lot more of the
Hmm.
BK fights and
Yeah.
be a little bit more, active in that respect. So yeah, so I'm any fights that are close, I definitely want to try to make.
Have you seen any thoughts? I mean, you have the card in Texas with Tenaglia Soto, that rematch. Then you have BKFC 78 in Hollywood is turning into a mega card from
I don't know anything about that card on Hollywood.
yeah.
I would like to see if I can bring it up. I don't have
Yeah,
another.
you got Perdomo against Adams. Um,
Mm.
is the main event. G Perez against Andrew Strode, co-main for the flyweight belt, interim belt.
Oh,
Duran fighting against Barrow.
I might have to show up for my boy Strode.
Okay.
That's we
How do you
train
know?
at the same.
Oh, he's
He's
in Colorado.
yeah, Strode.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
his very first fight. He was in my corner. His manager is really close with all of us. We've all fought together since MMA days, and now he's a manager. So they come to the gym. We cross train. So he was in my corner. They gave us our own little room in the
Mhm.
back, and he was in there. And it was his first fight, and just watching him warm up, man, and just talking to him and whatever. I just became like a fan. You know what I mean? This young guy. He has a great backstory. He's a great father. He's a great guy. You know what I mean? He has good energy, and then he goes out there and he just puts on shows.
Mhm.
Quick hands, fast as shit. Him and I spar, Yeah, I'll be trying to be just as quick as him. You know what I mean? I spar with all that. I spar with the little guys and I spar with the big guys. I don't
Uh-huh.
discriminate. These hands don't discriminate. No, I'm just kidding. No, but Stro got them hands, man, and we have fun, man. When we move, he pushes me to find new angles and be quicker than what I know I am. And yeah, I'm excited to watch him fight, man. I don't think a lot of guys are gonna be able to match him. And he's up and coming, and he believes it in his head, and that's the biggest part. And he has the tools to get it done.
Yeah, this card is loaded. I mean, Brian Duran's fighting, Justin
Yeah.
Rivola's fighting, Howard Davis is fighting, Francisco Ricci's fighting, heck, Christine Vinces is fighting, Tomahawk Tonsil's fighting, Rambo's. I mean, there's this fight. This card is. I mean, for South Florida,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be shocked if they don't open the third level to that Hard Rock.
Oh, nice. I
But man,
did.
go ahead.
I did see. Who was it? It was Josh Copeland. They just announced something with Josh Copeland fighting. What's his name? He's a UFC like legend.
Let me
Look it
get.
up. I think I just saw it. I was scrolling and I think I saw it, but I refreshed the page and I couldn't find it again.
Oh, he's fighting Andre Arlovsky in 2 weeks.
Oh, Lasky. I
Yeah,
literally just was scrolling before we got
yeah,
on here and then I was
yeah,
trying to find it again. So it
yeah,
is. That's a fight,
yeah,
huh? When
yeah.
is
He's
that?
fighting. That's on the 21st of June in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
I think that's gonna be great. I
That's
think
on the
that's gonna be
that's
a
on
great
the
fight.
that's
I'm
on the
a
Tenaglia Soto card. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Copeland, man. Me and Copeland go back on training, and I mean,
Oh
we
wow.
used to bang. So,
Okay.
he hits hard as shit, So, I love the guys that hit hard, you know what I mean? Because that means we're gonna stand in practice and we're gonna fight. So, we've had some fun. And every time he fights, I'm like, dude, if he just has to land that one strike.
Mhm.
So it's pretty fun. I can't wait. I'm excited now to watch that fight.
Yeah, you missed the first fight of that card on Saturday on Friday, right? You missed the first
Yeah,
fight.
I was driving. I was like in the middle of my drive. I'm like
Yeah.
almost there. I'm like 2 hours, 3 hours out. And then I get a call like, hey, we just want to let you know, we lost all these fights and it's going to be
Yeah.
starting early. It's going to end early. So try to get here soon
Yeah.
because it's not going to end at 9. It's probably going to end at 8. I'm like, bro, I'm going to be getting there at 8. I'm like, I'm lucky I'm in I have the Tesla. I have the Tesla Cybertruck. So I'm over here smashing. I was like, all right, time to make it. You know what I mean? We're over here going the speed limit, about to max this boy out.
Yeah, because in that first fight with Bobby Henry, he lost the first 4 rounds as far as I was concerned, and with about 35 seconds left to go in the fight, he lands this uppercut from hell. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen the highlight yet,
Yo.
but I mean he slept this man
Yeah.
after losing the first 4 rounds. So when you mentioned that one punch land in
Uh-huh.
power when
I'm
he
not gonna
walked it,
lie.
it's like
That
oh,
Yeah, that strike, bro. That's all I saw.
he was
I thought he was whooping his ass and just finished him.
no,
And then I heard he was getting whooped.
he was getting whooped for four
And
and a
then
half
I was
rounds.
like, damn, what a comeback story, right? Like,
Yeah, big
what a
time.
comeback. You're over here getting your ass whooped. You're down and out, and then you come and hit him with the Halugan. You know what I mean? That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah, that was
you know,
crazy.
that's
That's
the
how,
beautiful thing though about
yeah.
BKFC, man, is that anything can happen at any given time. No one's down and out. You may be down, but as long as you believe you still have a shot, you may have that shot. All it takes is one cut, one hit, one strike, whatever it is. Just one. That's it. Just takes one.
So let's I want to wrap this up with obviously your final thoughts and words for Dave Mundell. Any yo mama jokes or anything like that? I mean, you know,
No, man, like I said, man, I'm not really disrespectful, but I will be disrespectful. But my thing is, man, set it up. Let's put all this to rest. A lot of people want to see the fight. I think this is going to be one of the best fights to set up stylistically. The type of energy that we both bring to the squared circle. Um, Set it up. You're the champ. You want the best. You want to fight dudes that want to fight you, that want to come put on shows. I'm standing right here. You know what I mean? And I mean, I've been watching this guy for the last year and a half talk about No one wants to fight him. This, that, and the other. Bum this, bum that. Well, I'm not a bum, and everybody knows that. Let's let's sign the contract. Let's make it happen. Let's get a date. And let's go have fun. And then we can put this behind us. And you can talk all the shit you want. You can talk about all the bums and all this. Just stand in front of me and let's dance. That's it. That's it.
I'd like the fight to be in Miami. I'd like it down
I
here,
I'll, I'll fight him.
so I don't gotta travel anywhere. I'd love for that fight to be down here.
I'll
So that
fight him anywhere. Anywhere the BKFC wants to fight, man, I will fight him anywhere. That's one thing people know about me, man. I show up and I fucking fight. I I'm this from where I'm
supermarket
from.
aisle, supermarket aisle. You told
Yo,
me.
I've done beat people up in the gas station aisle. I've done knocked over all the aisles. I look, man, I fight. There's no bitch inside of me. I throw these things, and that's just
What
the
do
way it
people
goes.
what do people say to you? Because you seem very lovable, man. And
I'm
I mean,
very lovable,
like
man.
what do they say to you to get you to
It's
want to
funny, man.
beat
I
someone up
do.
in a gas station?
Yeah, I do outreach. It's funny. I do outreach like every day. I go out and pass
Yeah.
out drinks and food, and
Uh-huh.
I hang out and talk to guys and hear their life stories. And there's a lot of guys that they won't talk to me. They're standoffish. Like I'll come into the same little sectors, under the bridge or whatever, and there's like the guys will come up, and it's gotten to the point where the guys that don't talk to nobody, they come up, man, you have such a great energy. Thanks for always showing up. Thanks for being here. I mean, I go out of my way to help, these people on the streets, and just to bring some type of love to their life. So it's funny because like today when I was out before I talked to you, I was on my way back in. I freaking one of the guys, he was just like give me a hug and was just telling me how thankful he is that I just keep showing up, and I'm just out there. He's like, you're this fighter and you're this. You don't come out here with no cameras. You're not recording, trying to get anything. He's like, you come out here and you're genuine. You sit here and talk. You don't have to do this. You sit here and talk with us for hours and just hang out like one of us. You know what I mean? And I got the Tesla truck, so I'll get him in the car and be like, hey, go fast down the road. You want to feel how fast this is? You know what I mean? Bring out a shit ton of food, donuts, and just whatever it is, man. And that makes me happy. That
Mhm.
fulfills my heart, to be able to touch guys like that, it's awesome. Before we go, I'll tell you one last thing that just happened to me the other day, which is crazy. There's this one guy that I talk to every morning. He sits by himself, same road, same thing every morning. And I start talking to him every morning. Every morning, he was just telling me his life story, and just telling me how he just feels down and out, and like his family doesn't talk to him no more, and he's just trying to get his life right, this, that, and the other. The other day, I went to the same spot. He wasn't there. I'm like, shit. So I'm like driving up and down alleys. I'm just like looking for him, because I brought him some socks and underwear. So I'm like looking for him so I can give this shit to him. And I'm like, yo, like, where's he at? I'm asking some other people if they seen him. And they're like, oh, no, we haven't seen him. So, I did my rounds and talked to everybody, did what I did. And like, it was like 3 hours later. I'm like, all right, I got to get ready to go to the gym. I jump on the freeway and there's cars like stopping and braking and like moving over, and I'm like, I see, and he's like, it's the guy I talk to every morning. He's like acting like he's gonna jump out in front of cars on the freeway. So I pull up on him. I'm like, "Brr." I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
get in my car right now. What are you doing? And he like eyes get huge. I can just see. I felt like a dad. It was weird. It was like I felt like a dad. Like, get in my fucking car right now. What are you doing? And he jumped in the car and he's like broke down to me, you know what I mean? It was like crying, like, I don't want to be here no more. I'm done. I don't have anybody. And I had to break it down, like, bro, like, I show up every morning for you. I come and I talk to you and I spend my time with you. I care about you. You have somebody that cares. If you don't think anyone cares, I fucking care. Look, you're in my car. God put me right here at this moment in time right now to show you have someone that cares about you. You know what I mean? So, and then, he broke down crying. We went and grabbed some food and I dropped him back off at his little spot. I was like, hey, motherfucker, he has a phone. They have guys that go out there and
Yeah.
sell them phones. I'm like, man, you ever in this situation again, you better fucking call my ass. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that shit's like, I'm happy I can be there for other people. Like I wish other people could be there for me when I'm in a certain situation. So, yeah, I do have that side of me, but then I am that motherfucker. You know what I mean? I am him. You know, I will show up and I will whoop your fucking ass. You know what I mean?
Man, I appreciate it, Marcus. That was dope. That was dope.
Yeah.
David Feldman, make this fight
Yeah,
happen.
make this fight happen,
Make this
brother.
fight happen. I want to see this fight in Miami, Hollywood, whatever. I want to see it down here because I
Yeah,
want to see that fight. That's just me, but that's my selfishness. But make this fight happen. This is the
yeah,
fight that needs to happen, and we'll see. I hope it does happen for you, so that you guys you have that opportunity because that's what it's all about. The
yeah,
opportunity, and then you make of that opportunity what you make of it. It's up to you
yeah.
to take care of your business. And
You know, I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
And you know the thing is like this buildup is becoming so great.
Yeah.
You know, like I really want to fucking put my fist through his face now. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to fight him before, but
Yeah.
after showing up and him ducking me and going off the side of the ring, the opposite direction, his coaches coming and talking shit to me, and you know, I mean, now I'm invested. Now I can't let it go. You know what I mean? It's that fucker in me is like, oh, you can't let this one go. You got to get this one. You got to throw these hands. You know what I mean? So now I'm invested into this. You know, so let's make it happen, Dave.
Hey man,
Let's make it happen.
I'm happy to play the role of Ariel Hawani and do a round
Right?
table, and you're sitting here, he's sitting there, and I'm asking the questions. Pop this
Yeah.
shit on
Facts.
Showtime or whatever, the Zone, and make this a show. Because I mean, that's what.
Yeah.
End of the day, that's what BKFC needs. BKFC is doing some great things, but you need that one mega matchup. And hell, Conor McGregor standing right there. Get that, you
I'll
know
fight
that.
Conor too. I'll fight Conor McGregor too. Facts. Facts. I would love that fight. You know,
I'm. It's
his boxing is so phenomenal with his range. Like, I mean, I'd rather fight not just because Conor has like a really big name, but because of the way he fights. I would rather fight him before Dave, to be honest,
well,
because
it's red penny night, man.
stylistically, that's a fun fight for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's
It's
like
also red.
that's
It's also red penny night.
yeah, yeah, you
Everybody
know,
said-
that's a fun night for me.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You can have fun with that. You know, I'm gonna have fun with Dave too. We're just gonna lock horns and may the best man stand. You know
There you
what I
go.
mean? So
So, folks, everyone, this is Marcus Bad Intention Edwards. If you don't know, now you know. We got to get this fight done with him and Dave Mundell. I hope it happens in the next 6 months, by December. But if it doesn't, it will get done, I'm sure, by 2026. I wish you all the best, my friend. I thank you for jumping
thank
on
you.
with
I
me today,
appreciate you.
and that's all I got, my brother.
Yeah,
Get that knuckle healed because you need
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
need all
It's
these
on its
bones
way.
healed.
It's on its way.
You know, but everyone, I'm gonna share his social media in the description, so make sure you follow Marcus Edwards. And that's all we got for this one of Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.
Up and down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. Up and down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going on.